Today, we will honor a truly distinguished individual whose many accomplishments will be acknowledged by the conferring of the honorary degree from University of the Sciences. I call on Mr. Marvin Sampson, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, to present our nominee for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
Madam President, I am pleased to present Lawrence Liberti. Lawrence Liberti has served as Executive Director of CIRS, the Center for Innovation in Regulatory Science, an independent division of the intellectual property and science business of Thomson Reuters since 2009. He received his BS in pharmacy from USciences in 1976, where he went on to earn a master's degree in pharmacognosy in 1978. Combining his education with a passion for public advocacy, Mr. Liberti is an international leader in advancing health technology and best practices in the regulatory aspects of the development of medications, especially in emerging markets. He lectures on regulatory issues concerning expediting patient access to medications, new paradigms in drug development, and ways to improve communications between regulators and sponsors. Mr. Liberti is a member of Rho Chi and a fellow of the American Writers Association. He is married to Geraldine Coyle Liberti, a 1978 recipient of a BS degree in pharmacy from USciences.
On recommendation of the nominating committee and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by virtue of the authority granted this institution and vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer on you, Lawrence Liberti, the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. In testimony thereof, I ask that you be invested with the hood symbolic of the degree and present you with an official diploma. Please join me in congratulating our honorary degree recipient.
Well, Madam President, Mr. Sampson, members of the board, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is a real honor. But more important, congratulations to you, soon-to-be USP graduates. Be proud. Today you'll be leaving this auditorium with a hard-earned diploma from this great university, a chest full of memories, a school loan, and something you probably are not even aware of yet, a wealth of experiences that I guarantee will be your guide to a fun, successful, and satisfying life. In fact, when it comes to experiences, everything important I ever needed to know about how to succeed in life, I learned right here in our great school. I'm sure you're finding this a bit hard to believe, but let me share with you 3 short vignettes of my experiences as what was then called PCP&S, 3 events that taught me important lessons about life. After spending my freshman year in the newly constructed Osel Hall and my sophomore year commuting from home in Bucks County, 3 friends and I moved into the semi-derelict apartments just to the left of Osel Hall, then grandly known as Weisenthal Hall. Well, to the world, it was one step above a slum, but to us, it was our first place on our own. Our ground floor apartment right off the main entrance offered all we needed. 3 bedrooms, each one with an electrical socket, a kitchen with running water, a fridge that kept food mildly cool, and yes, even more. Periodic sewer pipe breaks in the basement just below us, pet roaches, and an ever-increasing number of telltale screwdriver pry marks on our apartment door. So it didn't surprise us at all that September night when a squadron of Philadelphia's finest kicked in the building's front door and raided the brothel on the 3rd floor, parading many guys and gals only wearing sheepish looks and awaiting the paddy wagons. But what did surprise us was the letter I got the next week. It was from American Express. Well, my 3 roommates and I roared laughing when I opened the letter, and the opening line read, "Dear Mr. Liberti, we can tell from your prestigious address that you are the type of person American Express wants as a customer." Well, I couldn't afford the annual fee, and I never did get my own Amex card, but I did learn life lesson number 1. When the events surrounding you seem bleak, know that there are others around you who will see the situation differently and just might give you a chance for a way out, maybe even a chance for something great. 1971. Our freshman year had seen the Vietnam War enter its waning years. We didn't know that in little more than a year, the withdrawal of our troops from South Vietnam would be complete. But what we did know as we sat in lecture room A in Griffith Hall on February 2nd, 1972, was that every hour an event took place that, by a fate totally beyond our control, might dramatically change our lives. Teachers would stop lecturing, the TV monitors would be turned on, and every guy born in 1953 waited with dread for the results of the next round of the draft lottery. Compulsory service had been supplanted by the lottery, a statistically dubious process by which a birth date held in a plastic capsule was drawn from a spinning mixer and paired with a second randomly chosen capsule containing a number from 1 to 366. One by one, each birthday was married to a ranking number. And it was the unfortunates, the lowest number, birthday number 1, who would be called first to be called to service on the next round. No more college deferments. If your number came up, you were out of school at the end of the semester and probably off to Vietnam. A date, a number, another date, another number, and now a despairing groan from the back of the room. The lottery would take a break, we'd resume class, sullen, and then tune in again, hour after hour. But it turned out that because of the rapid de-escalation of the war, none of us from 1953 were actually drafted, but instead we were put into a limbo, 1H, one holding, where we were held for 2 years just in case things turned bad again. It was kind of a mixed blessing, but friends, I need to tell you that there are times in our lives when unexpected events unfold before us. These may be unfathomably terrible events or ecstatically joyous ones, and they remind us that sometimes we have no control over what happens to us. For some people, this is paralytic, but I wish to suggest to you that these transformative events are rare chances to give it up to God. And I mean this in a good way. It would lead to madness to think we could control all aspects of our lives, but we can, and we do get through these events by seeking the peace of inner comfort in dark times and by sharing our happiness with our God. Life lesson number 2, just when you think you've got it figured out, wham, something unspeakably awful or superlatively wonderful will sneak up on you. And when this happens, give it up to your great comforter for consolation, strength, and happiness. And lastly, a short story about organic chemistry class. Sophomore year, my good friend Lou and I are standing in line for the results of our first organic test. Basic stuff, you know. Draw some structures, ethane, methane, propyl alcohol. We'd paid attention to scholarly Dr. Rubin's methodical but yet somewhat bewildering explanation of carbon bonds, electrons, and the like. We knew it stone cold, or so we thought. So in those days, we would get our results by lining up at Professor Rubin's office, a glass and oak bowl nestled in the corner of the organic lab, a warren of ancient wood and scarred black soapstone lab benches on the top floor of Griffith Hall. One by one, we'd enter his office and give our names. Professor Rubin would find our score on his tally sheet and then methodically, with no hint of emotion, tell us the result. I'll go first, I told Lou. Larry Liberti, I said with the confidence of a fool. Liberti, 42. Yikes, 42? Are you sure? Yes, 42, he said in his monotone. How'd it go, asked Lou. Bad. Next. In a somewhat more timid voice, Lou Lupo. Lupo, 38. Oh! With that, Lou pivots to the door, stunned, but even more shocked as he walks into the oak door jamb, bounces off, and stumbles out of the office. Let's get out of here, says Lou. Bernadette. We call her Bunny. Waved to us. Hey, how'd you guys do? Oh, worse than terrible. How about you? I barely squeaked by, a 65. We were shocked. We had studied, had done most of the homework, had tried some sample questions. How did we fail so badly? What went wrong? Next morning, Bunny beelines it to the table where Lou and I are sipping our coffee, still dazed from the previous day's organic debacle. Guys, last night I showed my sister the test. She's a senior at Girls High and is taking chemistry. And guess what she told me? Carbon can only have 4 bonds, and hydrogen can only have 1. We looked at each other. How the heck did she know that, Lou and I said in unison. You know, said Bunny, I thought I heard Dr. Rubin say something about electron shells and bonds once, but the way he skipped over it, who knew that was important? He never said it twice. I guess he assumed it was just so basic that we all just got it. Well, none of us got it. When we put our heads together, though, and redid the questions with a newly found insight about the basics from this senior in high school, darn if everything didn't make sense. Well, our class got to take a rare retest. We did well, and all 3 of us got through our 2 semesters of organic just fine. And we had learned 2 more valuable lessons that helped us through organic, college, and life. Life lesson 3, you will inevitably fail at something. For as you've done in the past, as good as you've done in the past, and as good as you think you've got the current situation figured out, I guarantee you will screw it up. Be it an event in your personal life, your professional life, your business, hobby, or investments. So, when it happens, go back to square one and re-examine the basics. What did you miss? Did you really understand the simple building blocks? Stick with it. Figure it out. A grade of a 38 or a 42 will just be a temporary setback, a call to ensure you have gotten the first steps right, to find a better way, a call to strive for your next level of achievement. And most importantly, life lesson number 4, rely on your friends for help. With them, your shared insights will overcome most any insurmountable problem. So family and friends are certainly indispensable, but it is also a blessing to have a mentor. If you haven't already, you might be fortunate enough to run across someone who, because of your strengths and despite your foibles, will see into your heart and know that you are a valuable and special person. Your mentor will set you on an unexpected path, be there for you throughout your life, will never be judgmental, and will be keen to share their special skills, tips, and most private wisdoms. I found my mentor here at PCPNS, and Dr. Ara Dermartirosyan. He had faith in me when few others did. He gave me my first summer job cataloging the PCPNS Antiques Collection using a database we programmed in Fortran, identifying artifacts strewn across every building on the campus, many created like relics in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That summer work culminated in my first peer-reviewed journal publication and laid the groundwork for what today has become the Marvin Sampson Center for the History of Pharmacy. Dr. D taught me the technical skills I needed to attain my master's degree in pharmacognosy and to enter the workforce as a confident, young pharmaceutical scientist. He stood behind my first entrepreneurial venture. But he also showed me how to carve scrimshaw, how to freeze-dry snack foods, how to strum an Armenian guitar called oud, how to handle failure, and rejoice in the miracles of nature around us. If you are befriended by a mentor, that's truly a wonderful thing. But just as valuable, seek to be a mentor to someone. And what about those 3 friends who bombed their first organic test? Well, I can attest that all of them graduated from PCPNS succeeding in life with the lessons they learned here, knowing that others had faith in them, that they could share their sorrows and joys with their God, that they could turn their failures into success by mastering the basics, and that together with their friends, they could face any problem. And all of the players in that seminal event have joined us at this ceremony today. Ta-da. After bouncing off Dr. Rubin's door jam, Lou Lupo practiced as a hospital and clinical pharmacist, earned his PharmD, and went on to become president of the USP Alumni Association, a member of the USP Board of Trustees, and today is associate director and HIV team lead in the virology medical information section of Bristol-Myers Squibb. Our classmate Bunny Coyle married Carl Schaefer, one of my roommates in that dump Weisenthal Hall. Bunny recently retired as director of outpatient services for the Tucson VA Hospital after a long and brilliant career as a community and hospital pharmacist. And that high school senior who gave us the Rosetta Stone to building organic chemical structures? Well, Jerry Coyle entered PCP&S the next year and graduated summa cum laude with her pharmacy degree in 1978. She worked as a community and hospital pharmacist and in the pharmaceutical product development field before co-founding a medical information analytics company and co-developing a patented system to assess medical literature content. She sold her company to Thomson Reuters 9 years ago and recently retired as the director of a global team of medical information specialists for that company. And one day, almost 37 years ago, in a moment of uncharacteristic distraction, Jerry agreed to marry me, this humble PCP&S graduate who now stands before you. You, the bright, promising class of 2014. Friends, you will soon be USP graduates, and employers, family, and friends will expect much from you. None of us is an island, and no one should expect you to be independently brilliant. Anyone who tells you to go figure it out on your own has got it all wrong. You should not and cannot be great by doing things in isolation. We are each a part of society, this wonderful, enabling, frustrating tangle of people with unique strengths and skills, points of views and temperaments. Your ideas and values and contributions can only grow and be strengthened through your open interactions and collaboration with the world all around you. And in turn, society will be thankful for the contributions of the wisdom of your experience. So one day in the near future, as you sit below your proudly framed diploma, writing out your monthly student loan check, think back fondly to the precious memories of your time here at USP. And today, dear graduates, today, leave here feeling proud, confident, and happy, knowing that everything important you ever needed to know about how to succeed in life, you have learned right here at our great alma mater, the University of the Sciences in Philadelphia.
That was wonderful, Mr. Liberti, and I think we have all learned some life lessons from you. We have just bestowed upon you this university's highest honor, and to have you become an alumnus with the class of 2014 enriches both this class and our institution. Your name will add even greater luster to our historic list of distinguished honorees.